Arizona, Oregon is here, and this is going to be a massive game. We are going to break it down, and there is a surprising factor that I don't think a lot of people are talking about.
You are Locked On Wildcats, your daily podcast on the Arizona Wildcats. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for keeping it locked on Wildcats and making this your first listen of the day. I am your host, Mike Luke. All right, this show is brought to you today by FanDuel. Here's the great deal. With FanDuel, you can put down $5 and get $200 in free plays if that bet hits. It is that simple, that easy. FanDuel is fantastic. Okay, now, all right, we got a lot to get to this show. Arizona, what the keys to victory against Oregon, because this is going to be a difficult matchup for the Wildcats. But at the same time, I think this is also a game that Arizona can and probably should win. Dana Altman, the Altman factor. Altman is obviously a very, very good coach. We all know that. We're going to, again, position by position, what a win would mean. Can Arizona beat Duke? All of that March Trey. But first, let's talk a little bit about Oregon. Now, I'm fairly familiar with Dana Altman. I am a big Dana Altman fan. He is I think Dana Altman is I think he's very underrated, honestly. I think he's a really good coach. I think he's a Hall of Famer, quite frankly. I think that he should be in the Hall of Fame. He's won everywhere he's been, and he's got an amazing record too. That he has never lost in the NCAA tournament against a lower seed. That's something that you're like, okay, you can't really really put a value on that. And I think that's something that I think that's something that's really important. And this team is, like I said, this team is good, but this team isn't great. And we're going to go position by position, and let's start at that point guard spot. The first one that we need to talk about is Jackson Shelstad and Jaden Bradley. Both these guys are very, very good players. Now, I think the thing with Shelstad that's a little interesting is I think Shelstad, I had bigger expectations for him coming into the season than he's probably played. That's something that obviously is that's an interesting issue. I thought he would be more of a borderline All-American type. He's been more like 11 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists type things. But he's been like I said, he's been all right. He's been much better of late, though, and I think that's something that you got to really factor in. The other thing too is that with Arizona, Jaden Bradley's got to play well. Jaden Bradley, not only does he need to play well, he's got to if Arizona loses this game, a big reason why is probably going to be that Jackson Shelstad outplayed Jaden Bradley. That's something that can't happen for the Wildcats. He's got to play well. I think Arizona's got a little bit of an edge here. Not only do I think Arizona's got a little bit of an edge here, I think that this is something that can also be exploited to a certain degree. He's bigger than Jackson Shelstad, and again, he's every bit as athletic. Not only is he athletic, he's also a guy that he understands the game. He understands my microphone is falling apart here. He understands the game. He understands what he needs to do. I think they got to take advantage of that. So we will find out where that one does, how that one does occur. But the other one too that we need to talk about is what does Arizona need from a statistical expectation? From a statistical standpoint, I think it's fairly easy. Honestly, I think Arizona, I think Jaden Bradley needs to be something like 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, something like that. He's got to be a difference maker. And that's kind of where I'm at with this. He's just got to be a difference maker. He's got to win that matchup. That's the best way that I can put it. Now, another one that you're looking at then at that 2 guard spot, this is another matchup that Arizona needs to win. Caleb Love, Arizona has to get a massive game out of Caleb Love. When you're in the NCAA tournament, your best players have to play well. I mean, again, I know that, hey, Mike, that's no duh, but that's just kind of the way it is. Caleb Love's Arizona's best player. He has to play well. He has to be a difference maker. If he's not a difference maker, then Arizona's probably going to lose. You brought in Caleb Love for games like this, and Caleb Love, I think he gets a little bit of a bum rap, but he's also a player that has shown over the years that he can be really, really good when it matters most. And what I've seen about Caleb Love, what I really like that I've seen about Caleb Love is that he is he's getting to the basket. He's doing a lot of different things. That is what I needed from Caleb Love. I needed him to be able to show that, hey, if my shot isn't falling, I can get to the basket. Because let's be honest here, he is not going to be a guy that is ever going to have 6 straight games where he's just not missing. That's not who he is, nor should we expect that to be who it is. But what he can do is he can get to the basket. He's always been able to get to the basket, and I think he's just got to continue to show that he can do that. If he does that, I think Arizona, like I said, I think Arizona can win this game, and I think Arizona can win this game fairly easily. But it's got to be a Caleb game. Caleb has to get to the hoop. Caleb gets to the hoop, then I think Arizona can, like I said, Arizona's going to win that game. So we will find that one out. But overall, this is a game that he needs to be the best player on the court. He's been much better of late, and his passing has been really, really good. But what is that next step for him? Again, he didn't shoot any free throws last game, but I also don't worry about that too much, because at the same time, he also he played within himself. He wasn't forcing up a bunch of shots that had no chance of going in. So I give Caleb Love a lot of credit for that. And again, the passing, I love seeing the rebounds as well. Just need Caleb to play winning basketball. And I think Fran Fraschilla said it really well. He said that, Caleb Love can play in the NBA. I believe that Caleb Love can play in the NBA as well. These are the kind of games where you can show it against a guy like TJ Bamba. TJ Bamba is a good basketball player. There's no way around it. He's somebody that he can put the ball in the basket, and not only can he put the ball in the basket, he can get hot. This is a matchup that Caleb Love has to win, period. Caleb Love has to win that matchup, and if he doesn't win that matchup, then Arizona's going to probably be in a little bit of trouble. But I look for them to both go at each other. Now, the other one that I think is going to be fascinating in all of this is the small forward position here. Keyshawn Bartholomew is going to play a lot. He is he's a good guard, obviously he's a really, really good guard, obviously from Colorado, and he's someone that that they rely on. He's never going to be a great next level type guy, but he's steady. He's 12 points. He's 4 assists. He's 1 or 2 turnovers. He's making the open 3. I don't believe that this is a great game for ADO. As a matter of fact, I believe it's the exact opposite. I think KJ Lewis is going to have to be in, and KJ Lewis is going to have to be in early. If KJ Lewis is in early, you know what that means. That KJ Lewis is, he's probably going to have to play the whole game. But what I need KJ Lewis to do is I need KJ Lewis to play to his strengths. If KJ Lewis plays to his strengths, then this is a game that I think Arizona wins. He's got to get downhill, though. He's got to make plays. If he's wide open from 3, don't shoot it. Again, there's a reason that they're giving you that shot. You don't need to shoot it. It's got to be wide open. And it's even then, probably don't shoot it. And I think the worst thing that can a lot of times can happen is shooting a shot that just you're like, okay, I'm shooting this just because I'm open. You don't need to do that. And if that's like I said, if that's the case, then that is what it is. But KJ Lewis, I think, is going to have to play in this game. I'm not a big fan at all of ADO on Keyshawn Bartholomew. As a matter of fact, I think that that's a terrible matchup. So the other thing too with ADO that I can't really have is I can't have ADO be in a spot where he's having to chase people around, where he's having to do all that, because again, he's just not that type of player. But there's also going to be something in here from a perimeter perspective that I think that we need to talk about. That's probably not being talked about quite as much as it should be, but FanDuel, my friends, FanDuel. Check it out at FanDuel. You've got a great deal going on at FanDuel right now. Here's the deal with FanDuel. March Madness is here, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 in bonus bets. And every bucket on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories, they've got you covered. It's a lot more enjoyable when you're betting on a game and you've got a little bit of skin. You got to put a little bit of action in there. So visit FanDuel.com and get in the college hoops action all tournament long. Again, you can say to yourself, all right, I think so-and-so's going to play really well right now, and I'm going to get in a little bit of a bet. That's where you hop in there and you make that bet, my friends. You make that bet at FanDuel. Again, FanDuel is awesome. Great things. Check it out. Again, you can also make a little bit of nice money in the process. Thanks for keeping it locked on Wildcats and making this your first listen of the day. Locked on, your team every day. Okay, now, Carter Bryant. Carter Bryant's another one. Carter Bryant has to play in this game. This can't be a situation like it was in the past where ADO is getting more minutes than Carter Bryant in the in the first half or any half. That cannot happen, period. Carter Bryant has to play more, and you can see why. Carter can make the three. Carter can block shots. Carter is just good. I mean, that's the best way that I could put it. Carter Bryant is just a good basketball player all the way around, and he's getting better. He can finish around the hoop. I think sometimes you see players and you're like, all right, well, they're just not that good, or they're kind of limited in what they can do. Carter can do about everything. He's not a great dribbler, obviously, but he can still, like I said, block shots, rebound, you name it. He can do a lot of different things, and he's got to play. The best lineup, I don't care who you have in there, but the best lineup has to be Carter Bryant out on the court. If Carter Bryant's out on the court, then you're looking at a team that is dangerous, because he's also a knockdown 3-point shooter, and he blocks shots. Like I said, he dunks. He's an intriguing player at the next level. Unfortunately for Arizona fans, he's probably playing his way into the MNBA draft at this point. And so if he's going to be leaving, then you've got to get the most out of him that you can. And I think that basically means that you've got to play Carter Bryant. You got to play Carter Bryant a lot. Now, and if that means, and he can actually he can match up very, very well too with certain things that certain players that are on that team. And I think the first one is Brandon Angel. Brandon Angel is a solid player for Oregon. He's a good 3-point shooter. Arizona, I would have loved to have had him, but Brandon Angel's also kind of soft. This is a matchup that Arizona has to win. And when I say they have to win, whether that's Tobe Awaka, whether that's Trey Townsend, they have to punish Brandon Angel, because again, Brandon Angel is a guy that's looking to shoot 3-point shots. He's not really looking to do anything next level. You know exactly what he wants to do, and that's what he's going to do. Arizona's got to take advantage of Brandon Angel, and Carter Bryant is, I think, uniquely qualified to be able to do that. So if you're Arizona, I think that you got to play him. I think you got to play him 28, 30 minutes per game. And if you don't play him 28, 30 minutes per game, I start wondering, what exactly are you doing? Because he needs to play. He needs to play a lot. So that's where I'm at with that. Brandon Angel is a matchup that I think that Arizona can exploit for a variety of different ways. And but again, Angel, though, he's going to feast, though. If Arizona does the thing where you just leave wide open 3-point shooters, Brandon Angel's going to feast. You can't have that. You've got to be able to take advantage of that one. And I think that Arizona will. Now, Trey Townsend. That's the question that I think a lot of people have. March Trays. Can March Trey continue to be a thing? We saw it at Oakland. He was a monster. And I think a lot of people were thinking too that you would get another version of him that maybe you haven't had here at the U of A. And March Trey has been a thing. Not only has March Trey has March Trey been a thing. He has also been he's been a finisher around the hoop. He has been just, like I said, he has just been a difference maker. That's what you need, though. And you need him to be able to finish. When he really gets going, when he's really trying to force, the action, it's become pretty cool to watch what he does, because again, he is a good basketball player when he sticks to his elements. That's where he can really cause some problems. So March Trey to continue to be a thing. And if March Trey is a thing, then I think Arizona beats Oregon. Now, listen, he's going to struggle at times. And there, there's no doubt about it. I'm not breaking any news. He's going to struggle at times against length. And Oregon, they do have length. But that length is one player, and that length is Nate Biddle. The other players on this team, they got I think they've got that's a spot where he should be able to do well. And then Tobe Awaka is the other one. Tobe Awaka has to continue to play well. If Tobe Awaka continues to play well, that means getting rebounds, finishing around the hoop, making timely baskets. That's the other thing. He's got to make timely baskets. And he's been somebody that has been able to stop runs, that he has been able to for this season, he has been able to stop runs and basically slow the game down. And that's something that's helped out Arizona a lot. He's got to take advantage of that. And he's got to be that. I mean, that's why he's out there. He is a good basketball player, and he's got to continue to showcase just that. And then Kwame Evans, that's a player that's kind of interesting in all this. Kwame Evans came there as a 5-star kid. He's not that. That was the epitome of a missy val. And you know what? Sometimes guys just have missy vals, and I understand that, but that was certainly a missy val. He is you watch him and you're like, all right, well, he's just not that good. But he also is playing a little bit better. He's a lefty, which kind of gives you a little bit of a reason for pause at times. That's kind of annoying. Never really love having to play against left-handed players, but he is either way. He's a good basketball player. He's also one that, he's not great, but he knows what he's going to do. Arizona's got to be able to control him. But then the matchup that I think that we all need to talk about, the one that's going to be, I think, the most fascinating one in this entire game. And I think, honestly, the one that's going to basically decide how this game does unfold is the big man up front. But first, Nissan, my friends. Nissan. Okay, here's the cool thing with Nissan. All right, now we're all about stats here at Nissan because stats don't lie, because numbers don't lie. And when it comes to the all-new Nissan Armada PRO-4X, the numbers are on an MVP level with the ability to tow up to 8,500 pounds. It can quite literally carry the entire team plus the gear wherever you need to go. It's powered by a twin-turbo V6 engine, delivering the strength and performance to handle highways, back roads, and everything in between. That's what's cool about it. And it's got room for up to 8 people, so this can be a family vehicle. Take your adventures to new heights at the all-new Nissan Armada PRO-4X. Learn more at nissanusa.com. Again, I got a Nissan, and they got all kinds of different stuff. With Nissan, though, it's good. And again, it is fun. You can do a lot of different things in your Nissan. Thanks for keeping it locked on Wildcats and making this your first listen of the day. I am your host, Mike Luke. All right, now the thing that we definitely need to talk about, and Henry Vasar, Nate Biddle. That's what this game, you could make the case that that's what this is going to come down to, and I would not disagree. Henry Vasar went into this season, and I think a lot of people had questions about Henry Vasar. What were it was, and I was at the forefront of that. Is he tough enough? Is he, is he that player that can, you can really build around? Tommy Lloyd was huge on Henry Vasar, and we got to give Tommy Lloyd a lot of credit on this. He said from day one that Henry can be a really good player here at the University of Arizona. I didn't necessarily see it, but Tommy is obviously smarter than me. And look at what Henry Vasar has done. Henry is dunking in the paint. Henry is making threes. Henry is altering shots. Henry is doing a lot of different things. And I think that's what's exciting too, is just the absolute dunking and that he's taking no prisoners with him. I didn't know that he had that in him, and it's been cool to see. On the opposite side, you got Nate Biddle. Nate Biddle is Oregon's best player. He's a stretch guy. He's an ex-5-star recruit. He can block shots. He can rebound. He can do a lot of different things. He's finally been able to put it together this year because, before he would always get injured. But right now he is, I think he's showing that he is that he's showing, at this stage that he, what he is. And that is a very good player. Arizona, though, Henry Vasar is, I think he's physically equipped to be able to handle him. And I think that's what's it's going to be exciting. He can move laterally. He's tough. And he can shoot the three. This is going to be an interesting matchup for Arizona because I think that, Nate Biddle, he needs to have big games for the Oregon Ducks to be able to win games. He's got to be able to play well. And Henry Vasar's got to be able to counteract that. If this is a matchup that's somewhat even, then guess what? If this is a matchup that's somewhat even, then I think that's to Arizona's advantage because I think Arizona's got some better players across the board. But at the same time, Oregon is also a team as well that is a it's not an easy team, but Arizona I think has better players inside, and I think Arizona's just got a little bit of a deeper team. Henry Vasar, if he can control that, I think Henry Vasar is, Arizona wins that game. Now, one thing that we do need to talk about here is Dana Altman. Dana Altman's an interesting coach in all of this. He is a really, really good coach. I've always been a big fan of Dana Altman and what he can do. I think the thing with Dana Altman is that, if he's playing if a lower seeded team, he's going to win that game. Dana Altman wins the games that he is supposed to win. And a big reason why is because he's a difficult coach to game plan for. He's going to bring a lot of different defenses. Not only is he going to bring a lot of different defenses, he's going to try to exploit different things. He's just a good coach. Like I said, his offense probably leaves something to be desired. It's not a great offense by any means, but it can be good. It's good enough. But he defensively, Arizona's got to be ready. Arizona's a team that's got some limited ball handling. And when you got limited ball handlers, you've got to be able to, you can't have turnovers. If Arizona turns the ball over in this game, then Arizona is going to lose, period, because Oregon is going to try to pressure. They are going to try to get Arizona out of its rhythm. And if you get Arizona out of its rhythm, then, obviously, that can happen. Arizona doesn't have a lot of great ball handlers, and that's something that's been a little bit of an issue for the Wildcats and especially too that turnover bugaboo that you can't really have. That said, I think Arizona's going to win this game. I think Arizona's a little bit better. I think that line is kind of indicative that Arizona's a little bit better than Oregon. I don't think they're a lot better, but I think they're probably 3 to 4 points better. And I think that's kind of why that spread comes in. I think Arizona will win this game, but anything could happen in this one. If Oregon were to win, I could see it too, because Oregon and Arizona, both these teams match up fairly close with each other. And that is, but when you get into the round of 32 and one seed is a 4 and the other one's a 5, that's just going to be it. That's just going to be the way it is. That's just going to be the way it is. And, who knows exactly how that one plays out, but I do think Arizona wins this. I think it's going to be like a 76-72 type game, something like that. And at that point, then we'd be talking about Arizona, likely Duke. Now, if Arizona beats, I'd love to see Baylor beat Duke. I don't see that one happening. As a matter of fact, I give that next to no chance of happening, but who knows? Weirder things have happened. And then we talk about that. You get to the Sweet 16, and then it's basically, you're taking your chances from there. But like I said, I think Arizona's a little bit better team than Oregon, and we'll see. 76-72. But the keys for this game, in my opinion, Arizona cannot turn the ball over. That is a huge thing. If Arizona turns the ball over, they are going to be in trouble because Oregon is going to turn those into easy baskets. Don't make your job more difficult than it needs to be. I think that should be the motto for the Wildcats. Don't make it more difficult than it needs to be. And if you don't make it more difficult than it needs to be, then I think you're going to win this game. Okay, now, we are going to be back with you on the post-game show tomorrow, though. On the post-game show, it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully, we're talking about a victory. Hopefully, we're talking about the Big 12 continuing to do work. Big 12's done really well so far in this tournament. But, Arizona, they got to hold up their end of the bargain as well. And part of that is beating Oregon. I know it feels weird to say because it feels like it's a conference team, but it's obviously not a conference. It's not the same conference anymore. Arizona's got to be able to take care of business. We will be back with you on the post game, though, breaking it down. Like I said, I'm going Arizona 76, Oregon 72. But as always, very, very much appreciate you all making Locked On Wildcats your first listen of the day. Locked On, your team every day. I'm your host, Mike Luke. Bear down, back the A, and we will be back with you tomorrow.